Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast. Let's go Devils!
Yes, we are the Uncle Puckers. I'm Chris with Tim, and Dan Martin is back. He's joining the show. It's like a special guest appearance. This is pretty awesome. So
It's
what is
nice
up,
to-
everybody? All right, Mike,
back.
we're fucking on finally. You waited 10 minutes. Jesus, Mike.
Oh, fucking crybaby. Shut up.
Welcome back, Dan.
What's up? You got everybody like waiting for a certain time now.
Yeah, I scheduled it for 5:30. So
I don't know who fucked that up. That's a shame.
dude, we're never on time. Don't worry about it. It's not you.
We got a whole ecosystem of lunatics that watch this shit.
Yeah,
my computer was stuck in the past. It was reading 1970, which not such a bad option, but I guess that was a problem.
Before there was even a thought of a computer.
Yeah, simpler times.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. So, guys, are we back? I mean, come on, 2 in a row. But you know what? Before we dive into that, like Dan haven't been on the show a while. So,
yeah,
give me take as long as you want, but just your general feeling.
How's life?
Year.
I got more questions than answers. I'm curious how you guys feel about how everything's going. Definitely mixed, I mean, really tough seeing them go, the way they did over the last couple months, when Jack was out. He's coming back. I think everybody wanted him to come back a little stronger, but now he seems like he's coming on pretty good. And having Pesci back has been good. And, I think overall I'm feeling kind of optimistic, but maybe that's because I didn't watch every damn game so far. It seemed like every time I, sat down and watched a game with the family, like they were just horrible. It was tough to watch. I'm not going to lie, but that was like during the recent bad stretch, so hopefully I'm just curious to see where you guys see them at. As bad as they've been, the points, we're in January. What is it, like 10 points separating where they're at from, top of the conference? 12 maybe?
And it's always hard for teams to kind of make up that ground. I'm cautiously skeptical of this team, and I feel like this happens every goddamn time when these guys, they're like, "Are we back?" And then the next team on the schedule is Carolina, and it's like, "Oh fuck, we got to play these fucking assholes again." So if they get past Carolina and maybe back in, but then we did the last couple episodes, we did trade everybody. So we may have walked that back.
Okay. Yeah. And I get it because, boy, especially while Jack was out, it was like, come on, man. You get like one guy a night doing one thing, and nobody was picking up the slack. It was tough.
That's the key, right? We haven't had up until these last 2 games, I think is the first time we can kind of say goaltending was good and offensive production was good and everything kind of worked together. We haven't had that. It's when we were scoring 4 goals, we were letting in 6 or 7. When we couldn't score a goal, we were letting in 2. So I'm a little bit like you, Dan. I'm a little optimistic about how it's going, but I've been burned so many times this year that the 2 wins and you go back, right? A couple of weeks, we won the 2 in a row, and Carolina was on the schedule, a home game, and we all said, look, this is the game that can kind of catapult these guys, get them feeling better, and see what happens. They lost 4 in a fucking row after that. So they're right back in that same position. And like you said, we're only 4 points out of a playoff spot, but you have to jump 5 teams to do it. Yeah, and
it's not going to be easy. It's tight for a reason. And it always is. But there's a lot of time left. So I'm optimistic if they could stay healthy and get their shit together. It was definitely disappointing seeing them fall apart. And it got really tiresome hearing injuries be the excuse, right? Because everybody had injuries. We were not the only team. And it didn't really, didn't come together for them to even stay close to 500 during that period, which was like, oh, that's a problem,
I think I saw Ace say something like, I forget how many points were available, in that losing streak. He had some number of of 40 something available points over the last however many, I guess 20 something games. And we ended up with 6 or something ridiculous. I could be fucking those numbers up, but it was bad.
I think everybody would have accepted something sub 500, not happily, but that wasn't even close to getting to 500.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed that we've had to lower our expectations. Like I wanted this team to be in that, first, second in the division conversation. Now it's like, oh, we're 4 points out of wild card 2. Maybe we can squeak out and get there. So they have 35 games left, I think. And
35 games exactly.
35 games. So to get to 95 points, they need to win 23 games or 22 and a half games, but you can't win a half game. So that'll get us to like 95 points. That's like a 640 winning percentage.
Right.
And over the course of a season, that's a 107-point pace. Can they do it? I think they can. And here's the thing, like, I want them to be good. I'm not going to be one of these doomers that's like, I know we went through the whole sell them all, fuck them phase, but like,
I get it.
I want them to be good because like I just can't mentally put myself through another rebuild with these fucking clowns.
Man, we've been looking forward to this window and its prime for a very long time. I do believe in the basic structure has been pretty good, but then you start doubting it when, we can't roll through injuries, that, injuries become repetitive with certain players, Jack especially. And then you wonder, this window, is it closing? Is it over? Was it never really fully
Was it
open?
ever even open? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does make you think that. And then you get, the Fitz shit yesterday and that ridiculous press conference that he did where he really didn't even answer anything. Like I get the, I take full accountability of this. And then this next sentence is, but this is a, this is a all encompassing. It's everybody's involved in this. It's, basically like, yeah, I take responsibility, but there's a lot of blame to go around. Like the blame's on you. And I don't like him. I don't think this team is ever really going to take the next step until he's gone and somebody with a little more, I guess, foresight come in and manage this team. But I have to say, these last 2 games, they have looked like a completely different fucking team. And I was on the last show shit talking Nico Hischier up and down like this. And he has just,
Kraken. Great game.
I love that he has just shut me the fuck up. Like, that's what I want. Like you said, Tim, like, we don't want to hate this team. No, we want to talk about how awesome they are.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. It's like draining. My hair's gray. I got all this gray in my beard now because of this fucking team. It's not because of my job. My job's easy. No. It's because of the fucking team.
They're not. It's not helping.
And the thing that I was most encouraged by, and we haven't really seen this yet, and I know people think whatever they want about analytics, but the expected goals against for the past 2 games have been 2 or below at 5-on-5, which is it's hard to measure defensively how things are. You can look at shot counts and stuff like that, but what I've really noticed is they've really clamped down defensively. And with Markstrom playing a little better, Kovacevic back now, I think just defensively, it's just been a lot more cohesive. And a guy that I was actually kind of impressed with last night, even though the fourth line is absolute fucking trash, was Dadonov. Like, he actually had some really good flashes, good cycle moments, good forechecking moments. Like, I think he may actually be like an under talked about guy that could really put a jolt into this team. Something we need to get rid of Glenn Denning.
Never been on the fucking ice. Like, we have no idea what to expect from him. Like we kept saying every time his name popped up like a few weeks ago, like, we forgot this guy was even on the fucking team.
Yeah, and I wonder if they're kind of easing him back into the lineup. I put him on the fourth line and might try to give him some more run back in the top 6 because he looks pretty good last night.
I'll tell you, I mean, if you wanted to swap him and Palat out, I'm okay with that, on that Hischier line, but I would not touch that Brat, Jack, and Timo line right now. Yeah. I mean, I think they have a lot of potential, and I like if Dadonov can actually do something on that fourth line and make Cotter not be such a he's done nothing. Yeah, he's done nothing this year. He's been completely missing in action. The third line's great. Don't touch that third line.
Yeah, I love it.
I like Gritsuk, man. He's been playing well.
So I and defensively, like you said, like last night and even the game prior, the Wild game, like it wasn't so much off the rush. They were actually doing the dump and chase, and they were getting that puck in deep, and they were getting it, and they lose those battles so much more often than not. It was good to see that they were actually creating offense off of that forecheck. And that's how you can't be just a rush team, especially come playoffs. Like if you can't win board battles, you can't get that puck in deep, you're done. So they did
especially
show
playoffs. Absolutely. Because, that the openness goes away. They're going to allow a lot more clogging and the rush game takes a hit. And that's normal. So you got to definitely be a great team on the boards to do anything in the playoffs. Something, last year we remember.
Yeah.
Not good. That was one of the things that kind of annoyed me in the Fitz press conference is someone asked him, is like, is Keith playing a different system because their Toronto rush game and scoring, where they were top 5 in the league for most of that. And now we're just like, we're the worst scoring team in the league. And like our rush game has just evaporated. So someone asked Fitz that because there's been some discourse about, Fitz dictating that they had to play a certain style. And Fitz was like, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. But then in another breath, he's like, yeah, we talk to Sheldon every day. And it's like, what are you actually talking to him about? Like, I don't understand this. So I still need this fucking guy gone. I still need Fitz out of here. I'm so tired of his shit.
Well, so what do you think was like the key thing that made you say, that's it, I'm done with Fitz? Because, it's always a process. I'm sure like everybody else, you went from, okay, I'm happy with him to, I'll give him some slack. What was it for you? If you had to pick one,
I know what it
was
for me.
It started. Well, we've afforded him a lot of grace on this show. I think, and it started with the inability to get a new goalie 2 years ago. Right. Then last deadline, when he literally brought in like his big ad was like Daniel Sprong, and I like Cody Glass, but like he's not the deadline splash you want to make. And then this year, extending Markstrom when he did. And it's just like what was the point of extending him then when he was mired in probably the worst stretch of his career? Couldn't stop a fucking beach ball. It's like you layer in all these things, and like I've been kind of done with him, but like that was when it was official for me. I was like, enough. We need new eyes on this team.
And
same thing for you, Chris.
Well, definitely the Markstrom thing, because he was even asked about that at the presser, and he said, he gave him the contract extension based on the playoffs last year, which I just think is a fucking cop-out answer. Like, you went out and did this way too soon. We talk about Lou all the time on this show, and, his adage of if you have time, you take time, and that's exactly what they should have done with Markstrom. He wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't, you weren't going to have a bidding war at the end of the year unless he won the Stanley Cup for you. Like, you easily could have just said, play hard, play good, and we'll revisit this at the end of the season.
I feel like on that, his biggest knock up until getting Markstrom was like the Devils haven't had a top tier goalie. We got to get a top, and it was widely hailed as a great move when it happened to get Markstrom. Very few people were against it. It doesn't have quite the same shine on it. So it was like, why move on it? I just felt like he was afraid of having all that goalie question open again. I don't know. That's a tough one. What do you think about his very public and big play to get the third remaining Quinn or remaining Hughes? Because a lot has been written about it, like that somehow psychologically damaged the team. I don't know about the truth of that, but he doesn't look great for that, in my opinion. What do you guys think about that?
Well, personally, that was the thing that I kind of was done after that fuck up. I was done with him because you knew that, even back in the summer, everybody was talking about Quinn coming to Jersey. Quinn wanted to be here. We wanted him here. He would have transformed this team. Yeah. And you tried to move Dougie in the summer. He wouldn't go. He wouldn't take the trade to San Jose.
Yeah, and I heard talks about somebody else with a no trade being asked to waive it, but I don't even know who it was.
I don't know. Do you know, Tim, who the other one was?
No, but like he said cap space wouldn't have been an issue. So
which
I
how does that make sense?
That. It does if you think about it. So I read something when it happened at the time that kind of got brushed under the rug, but it makes a little bit of sense because you assume Mercer was going to be in that deal and maybe Nemec. Right. So that's $5 million off your books, going one way. And then what Quinn makes like 7.8 or something like that. So you'd need to send down 3 guys. So the issue then became, it's like we're putting together a beer league roster for a couple games because everybody's fucking hurt, right? And you only have Quinn, so you're running out like 10 forwards and 5D. So it's just another example of Fitz like balancing short term and long term, but like
that's the wrong
way. Like he's balancing the short term to get Quinn Hughes. Like, what are you, fucking crazy? Like that just seems like insane to me. So
in the summertime, he should have had a clear plan A, plan B, and plan C to get Quinn Hughes. And when it was obvious that he barely had a plan A, and when that fell apart, the Wild step in. Like, to me, that was because everybody had him coming to Jersey. Like, the deal was essentially like everybody in the National was talking. That's basically a done deal. And then all of a sudden, Minnesota swoops in. You can't let that happen. And I'm surprised that ownership didn't fire him once he got moved, once Quinn went to Minnesota, only for the fact that, like, if you're an owner, like, you want all three of those Hughes boys on your team. Like, you are now the most must-see team in the NHL, and every national game would be Devils. They get more press and more attention than they ever have, and he let that go. And
I see Beachmasters telling us we might still make this deal with the Wild. What do you think?
No,
I think that's
Beachmaster 9042.
I don't see that ever happening. Why would Billy Guerin trade his best player?
It seems like it would come at a steeper price than the summer pricing, but I don't know.
Yeah, we're not. Quinn's the dream of Quinn this year is gone. We're not doing a deal with Minnesota. That, like, there's no reason for that.
And I'm worried that we'll get to a point where we have all three Hughes out on shoulders and hands and all kinds of stuff.
They'll all be in the press box watching the Devils lose to the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, with just something else bandaged up. Each of them like a, see no evil, hear no evil, play no hockey kind of set of monkeys.
Exactly.
No, I don't want to get down on the Hugheses, but, there's that durability thing definitely reared its head again. Did we really Photoshop Jack Hughes's hand in press pictures?
Yeah,
I saw this and I'm like, I want to believe that somebody's misunderstanding, but there's the fucking shadow, dude, and he's got a hand in the shadow, which it still looks like a hand. I mean, why are we photoshopped? Did it look like disfigured, or is it just a bandage?
I don't know why they.
He's got like this. He's got like this big rig on his hand that he wears when he's like out in public.
That's called
I don't know if he still has it or not.
I was afraid it was a hook, and he's just like.
Right. Honestly, at one point, I was
like, under that glove.
Guy cut his. I thought that I was like, this fucking guy cut his fingers off. Like, what happened?
Yeah, right. Was he just playing with a thumb?
What happened?
Yeah. Like, learn to use stemware properly, man.
Oh, Dan, I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
On LaGreca.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
our new play-by-play guy.
Yes.
What do you think?
How you guys feel about it? You know what?
How do you feel?
Okay, so I think on the surface, at first, he sounds like a professional play-by-play guy, which is nice. I will never forget the Kanji screams, and we don't have that anymore, and we haven't had it. There's certain overused phrases that are driving me insane. Now, like, look, some of the greats have their like signature taglines. Everybody here, loved some of them in the past, and we're happy that. I'm not saying anything you repeat is bad, but if I hear "on his horse" one more time, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
It waits for his mates.
Yes, there's a few of them, and I actually was going to write a couple down.
Flings and
yes, and it's just I feel like they're come out too much or at the wrong time. Like the rapport with Danico. I mean, like, who is going to have amazing rapport with Ken Danico? But, it's okay. It doesn't seem like Danico wants to kill him like we've seen in the past. What do you think? Do you think Dano's really had enough of him?
I don't think Danico. I think Dano hates him. I really do.
That up? Okay. You might have seen more games to get that perspective than I have. Yeah.
Well, I have a clip. I taped it off my TV, and did you watch that, Tim? I sent it to you.
I didn't watch it yet. No, I saw it come through. Wasn't in a good place to watch it, and then
I want to play it here, but there's no way that you guys are going to be able to hear it. But I'm going to try just so you can listen to and tell me if you can hear this at all. And I really hope it comes through. Let me see.
Jesus Christ, this guy sends fucking novels for emails.
Who's that, Chris?
No. Can't hear that at all, Chris.
So it's during the Wild game, and there's a goal mouth scrum right in the beginning of the third period.
Okay.
And he completely craps all over himself. He's like, Grits you back to the point. I don't know who takes the shot, but the shot, and then he just shuts up. Like he completely craps all over himself. And I rewound it a couple of times. Yeah, exactly. I was cracking up, and I was just like, in fact, the guy called us the Rangers twice and cannot get the name. He's calling guys numbers and names that aren't even on the ice at the time. Like he's clueless. He
called a Gritzik goal for Jack the entire time. He's like, fuck up.
Well, they both have the 80s.
Jack
so,
Hughes. It's just like, I'm so tired.
I have to say, Gritsuk and Mercer, I get confused with them sometimes. I just see the 1 and the number, and I'm like, wait, which one is that? The 8 and the 9. So now I'm glad they're not on the same line anymore.
But so to get back to like where the team is now, I'm pleasant, I'm hopeful that they can do this. And Saturday's game against Carolina obviously is that's our boogeyman. We need to get past these guys. It's just
big time.
And I think honestly it'll go a long way because the Devils have proven to be mental midgets.
Hey, Tony, welcome, buddy. How are you?
Hey, man. Well time.
Oh man, it's crazy at my house. How you guys doing?
What are you in a different office?
Yeah, this is my other office right here. It's all the records room. I got you guys can see really fast.
Wow, that's nice.
Hundreds of records in there and shit. Yeah, this is my record room. My fucking kids. So really long story short. My kids had a birthday party to go to, and they had a dance recital. And then my one daughter started getting a fever, and both of them were all getting dressed for the party and stuff like that. And then they're crying all night because we told them they can't go to this big birthday party. And so it's a disaster at my house today. But how you guys doing?
Oh boy, yeah, doing all right, man. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. How you doing, dude? It's been a long time, like 2 seasons, right? Or a season. I don't even know.
At least a season. More.
Man.
For all the people in the chat that don't know, Dan is the original pucker, and life got in the way for a little bit, but hopefully we'll see him soon.
I'd be the first one to do this shit with Chris, but not too many.
Life gets in the way sometimes,
but he's got some. Yeah, definitely, exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
But now you got an army going. Look at all these comments. It's mostly the same 3 guys, but I like them. I'm interested.
It's our gang. It's our gang of lunatics.
Yeah, no, I see some good stuff in there. I like it.
We don't have a huge fan base, but we have the best fan base. I have to say. Our
what does belly save mean? Somebody's calling Robbie's bench toss is talking about a belly save.
Oh, that's another LaGreca term. He's like belly down.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. I thought there was an actual save he wanted us to bring up.
That's another one. Chested by Markstrom.
Yeah, chested belly down.
Yes. He constantly calls a blocker away shot, a paddled away shot. I'm like, dude, listen to that. That's not hitting the paddle. That's hitting the blocker.
Well, the overtime goal last night, Danico called it. I don't know if you guys heard.
Yeah, he did.
Danico, I don't know if it was, I'm going to just, because Don will probably fuck this up. I don't think that was the case. He was just so excited to get the goal that, I love Danico. I absolutely love
He's got so much passion. Definitely.
Yes.
It's very funny. Like Danico and now that Bryce Salvador's there too, mic'd up. Just the grunts and wow, out of both of them when shit happens, and Dan, and they're just so actively rooting for the Devils to score. It's very funny. Sounds like oh no,
yeah.
And when Luke falls in front of the net, Danico's like, "Cool boy, didn't like that."
Anytime they even bring the puck out in front of the net, you see you could hear Danico's ass clenching up. He just doesn't like anything in front of the net.
Yep. That was his thing. Clear out in front of the net.
Exactly. What'd you think of the last 2 games, Tone?
Oh, it was good, man. I mean, I'm not really excited. I can't say that my mind has changed at all. No, we're not back. We're not back.
You're not
unless we do a bunch of shit. I'm gonna say the same thing I said before the season even started. Until we see 2 moves, 3 moves, and we ain't back. And
okay, so you kind of predicted this whole season. You were down before we started. You're saying.
Ask Chris. When we talked before season, I said, "Man, we're not tough. We just don't have the. We can't compete with the tough teams." I said it. I think the last time you were on, Dan, I was probably saying the same shit.
Well, that is your thing. You want to get tough, and I always agree with you to an extent, for sure. And you're right. We didn't get much tougher, right? No. I guess over the.
I love Dylan. Love Dylan. But. Besides that, man, it's obviously a disappointing season. It was great to see him win last night. Obviously, we got to get rid of Dougie. There's a bunch of shit that has to happen.
You don't think Dougie's turned it around? He played a little better.
Doesn't even matter. We got to get rid of him, though. We got to bring other people.
Because the guys literally, they benched him, and he had his like best 2 games of the past like 2 years. Very funny stuff. Now we have this like, what the fuck are we gonna do on the right side of our defense now?
Well, let's talk about that for a second. What are we gonna do in the right side? Is this gonna be Kovacevic, Nemo, Hamilton every other game? Like, are we just gonna rotate these 3 dudes? Like, what are we doing?
I have 2 ideas.
Let's hear them.
Okay, the first one is we do a full-blown 4 right D rotation. Just sit a guy every game. So that includes Pesci too, because like love Pesci, but he's been showing some cracks of late. So wouldn't mind him getting a breather every now and then. Either that, or we go 11-7 and fucking punt Glendening to the fucking moon, because he is quite possibly the worst hockey player in the NHL. Wow. Like, statistically,
you don't like him.
Actually,
he's done nothing.
He's so bad. And like at the second goal, like his one like primary utility is faceoffs. The second goal last night on that their power play goal, he gets absolutely fucking smoked on the faceoff, goes straight back. Then he cuts across, holding his stick like I don't know what he's doing with his stick, but he's like holding it like an oar.
So I
tries to kick out.
Yeah, he's going to paddle his way out of it.
Yeah, screens Markstrom. Puck goes straight through his legs, and it was like kind of a change up plus the screen, and Markstrom kicks out like a rebound that he couldn't place any better for McCann to finish it. So like Glendening's one utility to win that face-off on the penalty kill, he didn't do. This is like, I'm so tired of this fucking guy.
That was on the second goal last game.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you think as a resident goalie? What do you think of Markstrom?
I think he's capable of better play. Has not been consistent. In some places, he's been downright awful. I mean, let's face it. But I think if you had an opportunity to make a better move, go for it. But I don't see it coming. No. I would love to see him get his game together. I know that he wasn't the reason we had the playoff run we did last year, but he also didn't seem like he was going to be putting that team on his back. There was a few games where that opportunity was there. So I think he's going to be around this year. And if they, scrap together enough to make the playoffs, he can prove everybody wrong and show what I think technically he's capable of, which is, taking a team deep into the playoffs. Is he my first choice for it? No.
Who do you have more confidence in, Allen or Markstrom?
Well, isn't that interesting? Because I think on paper you would like Markstrom in that spot, and they paid the big money. They signed the big contract. I have a feeling there's no world in which they don't give Markstrom ample opportunity to, keep that spot going into the playoffs. Even if they play him a little less until that, and Allen gets hot, Markstrom would have to get really, but that's a decision that can happen, because I can see Allen stealing this away from him just because he's been so inconsistent, not just inconsistent, he's been streaky bad at times.
Right.
And you can't afford that going into the playoffs. So, I think I would be totally in support of giving Allen the nod, but this is so far in the future. Who knows where we're going to be? I'm just saying today on paper, if you look at the two of them, Markstrom should be better. Over certain periods of time, that's not true. But I'm just taking the whole picture.
These guys.
I'm looking at Snow.
Big workload. Allen sucks when overworked. Allen never be able to handle the workload.
Jay Snow should never work a suicide hotline. Let me tell you.
RVH isn't for him. I like that.
But he's right though in a lot of things he's saying. But he should never work a suicide hotline.
Who's going to get the start Saturday? I mean, Markey's coming off 2 good games, and now you got the Hurricanes. Do you put Allen in? Hasn't played in a week.
Yeah,
I would play Allen. I don't know. What do you guys think?
It's back to back, isn't it?
Chris, isn't it awful? Like you were saying earlier, I think in the chat, of course it's Carolina, right? I mean, it's like, it's just, we're not better than Carolina. I'm sorry. With this lineup, we are not. And I have a bad feeling, and I hope I'm wrong. And I did predict the last game score and the win by the Devils over the Wild.
You did.
Not the game.
It's not back to back.
It's not.
Oh, it's
no,
not,
we
okay.
go. I'm sorry. We got the last home game is Saturday against the Canes. Then we are on the road. We do our Western.
Then we do the Western Canada swing.
Okay. Yeah, it's Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Seattle, and then we're back home January 27th.
Yeah, that's a big trip because boy, you could see that going south, and
I think
they've also done. Yeah, exactly.
I think they've historically done pretty well on that trip.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, they had such a nice tear on the Western. I mean, they were like undefeated against Canada for a while, and that road trip was huge.
Off the subject of the Devils real quick, but I was checking the schedule because I got to go out to Chicago the end of March. So I was like, let's see if maybe the Blackhawks are going to have a good game. Maybe the day I'll get there, because I don't think I'm going to fly with everyone from work. I'm probably just going to drive because I don't like flying. So I was like, maybe I'll get there early. So the first day I get there, which is a Sunday, the Blackhawks are home against the Predators. The rest of the week, they play out here the Islanders, the Rangers, and the Devils. I'm like, son of a bitch. We couldn't reverse that. Devils be out there. That would have been awesome.
Yeah. Check out taking the train, man. I'm a big train guy. Might be my
I've never thought about it. Didn't think about the train.
Because you can sit there, you can drink beers, they have snacks, you get the view.
Yep. You know what I'm thinking about going to? February 1st, when I'm in Tampa on the last day of this month, and Tampa, Boston are playing at Raymond James Stadium, the outdoor game.
Oh yeah, the Winter Classic.
Yeah, and it's just me going. My wife and kids are staying here, so I'm thinking about actually going and trying to get a ticket at the last moment. But it's just see how crazy it's going to be prices. But I'm really interested in how they're going to do this.
No, they did it in Miami. They can do it in Tampa. I just think having outdoor games in Florida, it's crazy to me.
Yeah,
it is weird.
Yeah, you think that's going to be pulled off with good ice? Have you heard anything about that? Because it's just
I know crazy. Florida, the ice was rough. So I mean, I'm sure Tampa is going to be the same. So unless I get pulled off the plane in shackles because because who knows these days what's going on. I just saw they're going to cancel midterm.
That's true of any of us, though. That can happen. That can happen here. You don't have to be at an airport.
They're not going to cancel midterm elections.
He's going to try though.
The states run the elections. The national federal government.
Anything is possible, Tim, in wacky world.
You just declare insurrection, and then the next step, if it doesn't go well, you could do martial law. Then elections are canceled.
That's the plan.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see if I get off the plane and get there because who knows.
Absolutely. We might ban all like NATO countries. Right? Yeah. You guys aren't NATO anyway, right? Lithuania.
Yes, we are. Yes, thank God.
Yeah, they are.
How the fuck do we let Lithuania? What do you have to offer NATO?
And I look a little foreign, so I might not. I don't know.
Yeah, you can tell them I always look weird, even when I grew up here.
Even when I was
it's like, buddy, I'm from New Jersey, all right?
Yeah, he looks the same as he did when he was 17 years old.
No.
Actually, that's 100% true. You haven't aged at all. You always look that old.
Knock on wood. It's coming though. My birthday's this weekend, boys.
Oh. What's that?
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Oh yeah,
it's getting grim, man. It's getting grim.
That must be the big 5
Sunday.
Big number.
Yeah, I think that's the decade, the half-century mark for you.
Yeah, so I mean, not much time left, boys.
You don't look at that. You don't look at that over 34. So
not much days left. I mean, how many? One day, one of us aren't going to sign on, and that's going to be a sad day.
I would never think you're older than 49.
Not a day. Not a day.
Yeah, I'm
just remember when you're singing happy birthday to you and you're cutting your cake, just remember that you have more years behind you than you do in front of you, buddy.
Right.
I always think that. Yeah. You guys know I'm obsessed with death.
If you're lucky, I mean, I don't know who it is, but it might have been Bill Burr, that bit about you ever see a man over 90, he's got that face, he's just like, just waiting for death. Yeah. I mean, it's tough to have your marbles after 80. So
that's why I married a 30-year-old.
Yeah,
I married a 30-year-old, so I feel better. When I walk out in the living room, I'm like, okay,
she's gonna need to be satisfied well after you're able to.
I'm working hard, man.
Finding
trying to work hard.
Yeah, no, you do what you got to do. There's pills, you do what you got to do.
I'm liking snow, man. All these snow.
By the way, Jay, I'm
going to send you some cash.
I'm 72, just so you know.
Yeah, which is not. I was going to guess 71, and you're really doing well. So that's
I don't look it. I don't look a day over 65. So, but yeah, we're all old. Tim is a baby among us.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Bobby's the senior statesman when he's here. He's the oldest one.
Yeah, and unironically, the fittest out of all of us.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Tony's been working out. Yeah, he's excited.
I'm a gymmer every day, unfortunately.
Yeah. I haven't been to the gym. I don't even know if I remember where it is.
No,
they take my money every month, though. They happily take the money out of my account, and knowing that I'm not going to be there.
It's like you look at when the Devils won the cup, the first cup. You look at the years, how long it's been now. That's when you realize you're old. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like, you know.
Yeah.
Man,
Oh yeah, I got these like old. I think the pennants they gave us one game we went to maybe after the 2003. These are so old, and I cleaned them off. I'm like, holy shit, this looks like something that somebody discovered, like an archaeological find. It's like, oh, it's been a long time.
I was listening to XM. Thanks, Jay. I look 80. I appreciate you. Nice. I was listening to XM like a week or so ago, and they were talking on the morning show about I think it was Toronto had a game where they only had like, I don't know, 12 shots in the whole game. And they were like, yeah, I mean, you go back, the last time they, had that bad of shot attempts was, I forget what year it was. I think it was 2000. They're like 25 years ago against the Devils in that playoff game where the Devils only allowed like 2 shots in this third period. And the guy was like, yeah, I think I was like just born when that happened. And I'm thinking I was at that fucking game. Like that's how I was actually there at that frigging game with Bobby. Damn, where'd you go, buddy?
I think you got upset because I noticed in the comments somebody says hockey kills the gym. It's a better workout. I kind of agree. And then somebody said Tim plays beer league. It's not working. So and then he disappeared. So I think there's it wasn't that comment about you playing beer league and it not working that sent you off the screen for a second, is it? He's speechless.
I know. If he's had a stroke.
There it is. Okay. Internet.
Are you alive? Okay, we got you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, it's because I'm husky.
Beer league, if you're not consuming enough calories after the game to make up for what you spent, then I don't think you're having enough fun. So I'll just say that.
Yeah, are you still playing?
No, I wish I was. Honestly, I can play out and go play out if I want to, but I kind of would. I think I'd miss playing goal too much, and it would just kind of still bum me out. So I haven't. I constantly get texts that, we need a goalie. Sometimes some of these people I already told them, like, I kind of retired, but I really don't want this like fake hip to pop out and shit and, or need another one. So I think I'm going to try to do the right thing. I honestly, I don't think there's like 2 or 3 days that don't go by, especially during hockey season, where I don't wish I was still playing. I miss it.
What about, would you go out and like skate out?
That's what I mean. Like, I guess, but honestly,
because playing goalie with a fake hip, like you're not doing that shit.
No, I mean, honestly, I think I could play for like shitty, C League, men's league, over 40. I could probably play good enough, with the mechanics of the hip, but then I got to worry about it popping out and shit. Okay. Because that's what they told me. They said, if you play on this, it's not going to last. It's probably going to dislocate. And then, that's a harder surgery than when they put it in.
Yeah, it's not worth it, man.
So, and then the other thing was like, and even if it doesn't, you got a lot of damage on the other side. I really don't want to get the other side done because I have no pain. So I'm kind of pushing out with this because I think honestly, like a few times we played together, if it was just buddies, I'd go play out and just have a good time just being with buddies. And there was a lot of good guys I miss from the beer leagues, but I don't really want to play out as much as play goal. And I think that, unless I'm playing with family or with buddies, I probably wouldn't even do that. I don't know.
Yeah, so it was game 6 of 2000. Thank you, Ace. We appreciate you, buddy.
How old is Ace?
Ace, how old are you? He's not a day over 60. I'll tell you that.
He knows all the cups.
Ace is like 57. 58.
Yeah, you think? Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, I think you're giving him a little too much.
I'm saying 47, 48.
All right, let's take a guess. How old is Ace before he tells us? I'm gonna say Ace is 40.
Yeah, I would think he was younger if I didn't know that he's seen the cups and stuff like that, like we have.
39 and a half.
All right, Ace, come on. How old are you? Or are you not telling us?
So one of our commenters, Dan, XO Juice Man, is 39. A goalie too in Vancouver.
Yeah, I'm looking at that and go like, oh yeah, now he plays out, but he steps in the net once in a while, which is cool. I had guys call me and go, look, I don't really care if you just stand there. We kind of really need a goalie. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to just stand there. There's no way I don't think I could physically do it. You're gonna have to do what you can to. I've never been able, to just stand there. I have seen guys who would, and it's kind of hilarious.
That's what I would do.
We lost 8-1 on Monday, and the goalie we played against, this guy must have been 60 years old, and he was a stand-up goalie in the sense that he didn't fucking go down at all. We always
because he wouldn't get back up if he did.
Yeah, I was like, God damn it, man! Like, my shot sucks now. I was so mad.
Yeah, you definitely want to go out and have fun. It's just that I think that I'll push myself to the point where I'm going to have a health problem and be out of work. I can't do that.
Yeah.
No.
So, unfortunately, I don't know. I think about it all the time, and I refuse to get rid of my equipment. One guy like, I might know somebody who needs it. If you're gonna, I'm like, I don't know. I could change my mind.
Maybe your son will take it down the road.
Who knows? Maybe.
Hey guys, I apologize. I have to go deal with something, so I got to run.
All right.
Put out that fire.
I'll see you guys.
Spousal abuse is not good, Tim.
I gotta feed my dog.
Yeah, don't get beat up. That's
don't let it happen.
I try not to. But
Ace is 40.
Yeah, I nailed it. I said he was 40. He's 40. All right, Tim, have a good one, buddy.
Thanks, great seeing you
again, Tim.
Cheers. All right, finally got rid of that.
When I see Dan, I feel like, which I don't have any news, but I get that urge to do, because Dan was always, when we did the news back in the day on the show. Yeah. Dan was like the
you haven't been doing the news?
No, I don't have any news right now. I only got bad news always. But like
that's what I like.
Dan was like, he was like the side, like the Salvacious Crumb kind of guy. He always had the comments. Just like, when I would bring up a story, you always had a
Jabba the Hutt, Salacious Crumb.
You always had you kind of built on the story.
Funny.
You were funny.
I was funny how? Like funny like a clown?
Not funny like a clown. Then you disappeared on us. Then you left us stand.
Yeah. No, honestly, the news is one of my favorite. In fact, I refuse to come back unless I'm promised some news, because that honestly,
the best was the song.
Anybody did not like the news segment, I don't understand them. The song,
I have it.
It's fucking great. You've still been playing that, right?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, the only thing we do now,
because for the news. Yeah, I thought you meant the other.
Yeah, but we do the Devil, when we have at least 4 of us, and then another thing that we started when we have everybody, we do a Uncle Pucker Snake Draft of the Week, where we pick some category, like the top fucking breakfast cereal. I'm just throwing shit out there, and then we'll all pick our top 3 and we post it up on social, and then everybody votes on it, and whoever wins gets to pick the category for the next time. So that's just something stupid that we started doing back in like the summer. So that was fun. Okay. But with Bobby's schedule, and my schedule has opened up a lot now because I'm actually home at night. So
that's good.
Yeah. And Tony's schedule sucks because he's 7 hours ahead. So trying to get everybody on.
Yeah, he's in the future.
So hopefully
I'll be in Florida for 2 weeks. So there'll be some shows I could squeeze on early. I just got to.
You're going to get picked up at the airport and put in a
prison. I'm going in with Geronimo and Enrique.
Mustache alone, they're going to pull you to the side. They're going to stick something up your ass again.
I hope that I hope. If that's the case,
that's why you're going. I know.
I'm wearing a sombrero off the plane.
Yeah.
What's up, boys?
Let me ask you guys a quick question. Do you think that Fitz is gonna make some moves, or do you think that this is pretty much it for the team this year?
Small moves like last year, I think. You're gonna get another Glass, or no offense to Glass at all, but you're gonna get.
I loved Cody Glass, but he's not the needle mover that we need. I'm with you.
Yeah, there's not going to be a Timo Meyer level trade coming. I haven't heard talk of that. I don't know. I really don't know.
That's the thing. Like, we knew that it was going to be, I thought Dougie was gone. When Dougie was benched in that game, I mean, when he was the scratch, I thought, okay, this is, you scratch the guy because you're moving him. I thought there was a deal in place. So I got even more confused when he was in the lineup the next game. So I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Away Devil fan says, I think that Fitz will come in second place on some big acquisitions. Yes, this is what he always does. Oh, we were right there, but what?
Did you guys talk about that press conference already?
We talked a little bit about it. What were your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's the same as everybody else's. It was kind of, it's what you hoped you didn't hear. It was kind of just like, well, that's exactly what it was like. Well, and there was no.
He was kind of deflated, and and I get it,
what could he have said? Like, that's a good question. I was thinking that, like, what did you want to hear? Be like, oh my God, we got this guy wrong. He's going to be great. Like, I can't imagine anything he could have said. What did you guys want to hear? I don't even know. I'm seriously like, what should he have said? It probably was something better than that, but I don't know what it is.
I think his actions, he couldn't say anything to fix what he's done already. I mean, I just think.
But he did take responsibility. He did say it's on him, and I appreciate that. And I kind of liked how he, and I'm not a fan of the guy. I still want him gone, but I do like, maybe it is just lip service, but, he still believes in this team. He believes in this core. And I think that maybe it doesn't do anything for us, but maybe it does do something for those guys in the dressing room. Maybe then, when they hear that and I'm sure he's spoken to them, most of these guys, especially the leadership group privately. And, but when you're out there and you're saying like, no, I didn't make moves that the fans want made or what people think should be done in the media because I believe in these guys. And then when they go out and play the last two games,
you know what rings not so true about that? He also asked people to waive no trades and everything to get Hughes. Like, do you think it really did affect the play of guys like Hamilton? Because I read a lot about that. I don't know. Like, do you think that it did, and that was the real reason some of these guys were playing even below our expectations, and then B, should it have, or be professionals?
Well, yeah, but I mean, tenure. You're, teachers, right? The tenure, they get tenure, and once they get tenure, it really doesn't matter at that point. And maybe you do kind of. So I kind of feel like that's what no movement clauses are. Like you're not going anywhere. Like I'm getting paid.
We all know people play best right before their contract's up.
Sure,
right? That's a thing.
So if there's no accountability, and that hasn't been accountability with this Devils team all year, that I can see why guys get lax. And Dougie was a prime example. When Dougie wants to play, he's a game changer.
Okay, so maybe he's just being lax, but do you think he got do you think the locker room got put out of sorts when they just felt like, oh, this team doesn't want me. They're asking me to waive my no trade.
I think that there probably was some of that. And I also think there were some guys on this team that are Dougie fans and friends of him that didn't like that, maybe he is getting moved and we don't know what's going on and it's uncertainty. This team's not tough. So I think mentally tough. So I do think that any little thing like that fucks them all up. I mean, we've seen it a million times, right? You go back to that Columbus game when Dylan got knocked out and then everybody started fighting and everything, and they didn't win the game. They ended up getting killed, but they can never deal with any adversity either on the ice or off the ice and come out on the other end stronger and better for it. And that is something that I really want to see from this team is, it's not always going to go well. You're not always going to have all the breaks. Shit sometimes just doesn't go your way. How do you fight through that?
What do you think though? Like a lot of this we're blaming on Fitz, maybe because of the moves he tried to make or whatever. But what do you think about Keefe? What do you think about Heischer? But who else in leadership positions is responsible for that psychology,
But Dan, you were on the show when we needed a goalie during a couple of years ago. You were on when you were still doing it with us when we needed these assets that we never got, Yeah,
I'm sorry.
And also, you have to keep in mind, and I get it, because you watched last night's game, you get excited. You watched the night before, but you have to remember the teams we were playing.
Yes.
Their points are what? I think Kraken's 50, 51 points.
No, Kraken have more points than us, and the Wild are a damn good team.
That was a game that we said too the other night. Okay, we're probably going to win this game because this is how this works, and I wasn't surprised they beat the Wild. I mean, there's part of me that was kind of like, oh shit, we really did do what I thought we said we were going to do, because I was just kind of, throwing it out there. But I don't know. It really upset me a couple seasons ago when we needed a goalie and we didn't get one. And then it's just like watching repeat every year. And when you watch other teams make these moves, when I watched Florida get Marchand last year, to me, that was the stuff that you do when you want to win a championship. Because did they need him 100%? No, but that's the game changer.
And Florida played all kinds of games with their injured reserve that we refused to play for I don't know what reason.
Our ownership doesn't give a shit. I mean,
you think it's that, or they're just trying to stay within the spirit of the rules for what? I don't know.
I think ownership is just cheap as fuck. Like you go back to, last year and all the LTIR money, they didn't want to spend it to go out and get other players to fill in when guys like Hamilton went down and, everybody. But, I completely agree with you, Ace. Everybody has responsibility for what has happened in this
even
team.
Players.
Somebody brings up a great point here about Keefe, though. I feel like of all of them, maybe he's the least to blame. Keefe's never missed the playoffs. I kind of like what he's done with this team.
Yeah, I don't have a problem.
Really, I mean, I don't know. Do you have any notes on him? Like, I haven't seen anything that I didn't really like from him that I can remember.
Yeah, Tom.
And plus, Dan, like Keefe is given tools. At the end of the day, you're given tools to play with. And when you can't, you just don't have certain things. You just, like I said, I mean, as I always say, the toughness is a big problem on this team because, and it's been for the last couple seasons. And this year, it's so disappointing. And again, like I said last episode, we could play, you hope some guys like the softer players that are good players, though. You want them to worry about just playing, not having to fight, not having to hit people and stuff like that.
Right.
If you bring those pieces
to drop the gloves.
Yeah. I mean, we shouldn't have to have that. We should actually have it where a guy on the other team's like, hey, I don't want to hit Jack because I'm going to get my fucking face pummeled in, But
right.
Well, that's why you were pretty hot on originally McDermott coming, and I get that. And I think in certain games it was nice to have him, but in the end, like, is there a place for him? We kind of want a guy who can contribute and be tough, and let's face it, they are a hot commodity in the league, but I haven't seen too much of a move to really land them,
And that, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, you can't just go out and get a guy like a McDermott or, even a guy that is going to be a fourth liner that is going to play 7 or 8 minutes a night. Like you're talking about guys that can move the needle, play with that physicality, and also be offensive. The Sam Bennett,
not 1988.
Right.
We definitely need a modern,
the Marshaws, the Brady's, the Kachuk brothers. Those are the guys that you're looking for.
Chris Simon or
right. Well, he's not playing anymore. But
of course,
Tom Wilson,
Marty McSorley.
Yeah, I love Tom Wilson. We always say Tom Wilson. Yeah.
Yes, Tom Wilson might be the most skilled, tough guy in the leagues. I would
give my children to Washington for Tom Wilson. But I mean, it's there's a lot of Ace, you're right. They are. I called them Disney on Ice. They are a bunch of ballerinas out there. I called them Disney on Ice the last show. Like, that's just, there's no, when the Devils come out to play, they're not putting any fear in anybody. You go back to the old teams, like, you didn't even want to look sideways at Scott Stevens, Randy McKay, Mike Peluso, Ken Danico. These are the guys that would just rip your fucking head off. Oh, and then they'll have hat tricks in games. Like, this is
of those 4 guys in today's game, maybe just 2 would be playing.
Give us a Christoph Oliwa. I mean, come on, just give us something.
Yeah,
Christoph
Oliwa. Exactly.
But you're right. I mean, Stevens would definitely still be playing.
Stevens is, he would make the game, and I think McKay.
I think Randy McKay can play. Yeah, I think McKay would be a hell of a player.
I mean, I love Dano. I don't think the play that he had makes today's league. There's not a defenseman who's as non-offensive, as him. And I almost wish it wasn't that way. I'm just saying, I don't know how many teams would take on a Ken Danico today, because it's changed so much, and they want the scoring defenseman. Yeah, it's different.
And the big problem,
who did you say was the 4th guy? I feel like he wouldn't have played.
Who did I say? I said Peluso, Stevens, McKay.
Is there a world in which Peluso plays in today's modern NHL? And I love Peluso. Believe me,
he's a Utica Comet for life.
Yeah. And the problem too now is, again, not being so, to get off my negative kick, because I'm pretty negative about this team lately.
And everything.
Even if they start winning now, it's like, the problem is that the carrot at the end of the stick, what are you going to do when you start getting to the playoffs? Teams are going to knock the shit out of us, and that's the
exactly
that's the
right. I get it, man. That's where you need your grit. That's where you need your great game against the boards, like we were talking about earlier. And those are the areas they're weakest. So I think anybody forecasting this team deep into the playoffs is going to be Nostradamus if they're right, because I don't see it. I get that, but here we are. Here's the thing. The game has changed so much. If they really get together and do well, and then, amp up that togetherness that we hope is still there, that is like the modern version of that, who knows? They could surprise us. I'm hoping for the best.
No, I agree. And what I'm really hoping happens is that they put together a streak here, over the course before the Olympics, like, just go out there, get your points. And then I'm sure there's probably a roster freeze during the Olympics. So I don't know when the trade deadline and everything is. I don't have it in front of me. But get within striking distance. And then I would love to see a move made that brings that element that we're talking about into this lineup. And then you can say, okay, this team can maybe make a run if they get in. But look, if you go in, Maybe it's 2. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I don't care. Like I said, just because they won 2 games, I'm not going to sit here and say they're back and I think that everything's fine. No, because they go out to Saturday night against the Canes and get shellacked 5-2. This team's going to be a fucking shell of itself again. Like they need to start overcoming adversity, start playing as a fucking team. And you watched that Seattle game last night. I loved that game. I thought that was a fun game to watch. And it was a defensive game. And that's what I think Devil fans, like us, the old ones, like that's what we are used to. That's how the Devils are supposed to play. You win those 3
games. Is like that team is not the kind of team that's going to provoke you with their own toughness, their own get under your skin game. I'm not saying they're passive and bad, but they they're not bringing that extra element of bullshit that this team, I feel like, has a hard time dealing with.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, like sometimes I find myself like, I get kind of pissed off at this team and stuff. And again, as much as I get annoyed at our players, they can only do so much if they're not given the assets to help them. There's only so much they can do against some of these teams. And that's why we have to add. And I don't know. It's I'm hoping, I just don't believe that Fitz is going to do it. And I watched the press conference yesterday and I just was even more a little deflated. I was like, man, it's just, he looked deflated. And I thought I saw that from him last year too, when he was doing his press conferences later on in the season too. And I kind of got that exact same vibe,
Look, when you spend years in building something, whatever your job is, and then you watch that thing you built completely crumble, it's hard to get out there and take ownership of it and say, yeah, this is the reason. But yeah, Ace, I'm with you. Anybody that can bring some snarl and anybody that can kind of just, you want to be that guy, like you said before, right? In the playoffs, you think anybody's going to back off of Jack Hughes if they have a clean line of sight?
Game 2, he's done for the rest of the playoffs. They'll hit him, and that's it. And then
now, if you have a guy like we're talking about, you have Brady Tkachuk on his line. Maybe Timo on his line will be some of that, but a guy like Brady Tkachuk on that line, like you're going to think twice before you make that run at Jack, because now you have to fucking deal with this guy.
It looks like everybody's saying, everybody sees it. We need at least 2 guys with balls on this team. We're a soft perimeter team. I'm seeing what the guys on here are saying, and I think everybody's on the same page with that. Could you make 1 or 2 moves in that regard? Yeah, but I don't see us going to get a Marchand. I mean, there ain't too many out there, but I guess they could get a little tougher by the end of the trade deadline. I don't even know who's out there for that. I don't even know who we want to fill that position.
That's who I want. Go get Nazem Kadri.
Why not risk it, right? Why not now? Because, I mean, you got to give to get, as we learned from Lou back in the day. Why not start? Let's play poker now, right? Let's see some. Let's take a chance, because either way, we're not. So if we don't play any cards, we're basically out of the playoffs anyway. And I'm tired of draft picks. I mean, it sucks to say that, but I mean, I'm the king of draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Look at my hat. It's just doesn't work, And
no, we got players that our core is the window is open and it's going to begin closing if it hasn't already. And
you're going to start having to deal with. There's a lot of issues next summer. You're just coming into next summer. You got to sign Nemo if you want him around. Gritsuk is going to want a contract. I don't think Gritsuk is going to get anything like huge. It shouldn't be a problem to get that done. But I think Nemec can be an issue, especially if Dougie's still on this team, and who the fuck knows what's going to happen there. But a guy like Nazem Kadri, I think, still has a lot of gas in his tank. He has proven he is a playoff warrior. This dude's tough. He'll do all the shit that we need a player to do. He'll get in front of the net. He'll get to all those dirty areas. He'll fucking drop the gloves. He'll do whatever you need to do. I'd be fine with that. Like, exactly like you said, Tony. Why the fuck not? Like, everybody brings up, the age or this or that, the contracts. Like, at some point, you just got to lay it down on the table and say, if it's going to fucking work, it's going to work this year. And if it's not, hey, look, Tom Fitzgerald right now should have the mentality that if the Devils don't make the playoffs, I don't have my fucking job anyway.
I would rather.
There's no way he keeps the job.
He's saying, shoot your wad, bro. It's
exactly.
Now or
I would
never.
rather say we lost because we took a risk and it didn't work than we didn't do shit and we knew 2 months ago that we're fucked and we just still went along with it. I mean, that's because I know for me, man, it's so disheartening because, and I just wonder if it bleeds down on the players. Like if you're in that locker room, like we have said before, if you're with most teams that are in contention, you're thinking to yourself, well, our GM's going to go get us some tools we need, whether if you're a Florida Panther, your boy's going to get you some players. You're sitting in that Devils locker room right now. Are you like, well, this is what we have, and it's like we know we're not going to get too much. We might get no offense to Glass or anything like that, but what are we going to get? We're going to get a couple guys that are not really going to move the needle, like you said, Chris. Because to me, that's got to be deflating mentally too. Because imagine if you're the Florida Panthers, right, last year, and all of a sudden you're checking the news and it's like, okay, now we have Marchand. I mean, dude, tell me that does not make you pumped up to get to that arena the next day.
Yeah, really, but where the Devils are too, like they were coming off a Stanley Cup championship, and they were basically able to add Marchand without changing the whole character of the team. The Devils are in that position. So if they were going to make any big moves like that, if I'm in the locker room, I know that this is not going to look like the same team if they make those moves. So that it also works the other way is what I'm saying. Like you feel like you're on a sinking ship, I would think, because like the only moves that can save the team means this is not going to look like the same locker room. You might be part of it. You might not. A lot of the big guys are going to be gone because I don't see them getting the big names that we're talking about that a lot of people are reading saying, forget about it. Kadri's not happening. But like, let's say that was possibility. We're changing out a lot for that, like we're not going to get these guys for nothing.
What about Rob Thomas? I heard some talk about him possibly being on the trade block out of St. Louis. I mean, if you could pull something like that off, I mean, Rob Thomas is a hell of a player.
Why not? Anything.
He's a goal scorer. I mean, that's something we need. We need snipers, and we need a lot of things, but I don't know. It is frustrating, but at the same time, like they pulled themselves together for 2 friggin' wins, and we are acting like they won the fucking Stanley Cup. Like that's how bad everything has gone. Yeah. So,
and it sucks too that we're 2 wins and we're still bummed out because we just realized like that's what sucks is you watch last night, you watch them beat the Wild, and you're still like, man, I don't want to get over. I can't get stoked about this because
it broke your heart. They already broke your heart enough.
Then Saturday night we'll all be crying on here,
Well, and it's like, let's before we wrap it up. Like to me, okay, you've now put together two decent games in a row. You got yourself 4 out of 4 points. Now you got you have your nemesis coming in on Saturday. If you could beat the Canes and then go out to Canada feeling good about yourself, and at a possible 2, 4, 8 points, you go 3 out of 4 there, right? Get 6 out of those 8 points between the Flames, the Oilers, Canucks, and the Kraken. And if the Devils, like we know, if they play the way they want to play, they can beat these teams. If they do that, beat the Canes and go win 3 out of 4 on this road trip, I'll maybe start coming around. But anything less than that,
you'd have to at that point and say, okay, we got a shot. Look at, because it's going to take a lot to show. I'm not saying they're not capable of it; they definitely are, but it's going to take a lot of consistency of doing the things right that they haven't been doing to do that. They have not been anywhere near that pace since the very beginning of the year. So, like, you would have to be so damn negative to be like, they ain't buying it. They're not still making a play. It's going to have to turn around everybody at that point to an extent. I mean, nobody's going to forget this falling apart they've done, over the last couple months.
And that's it, right? Because even if they make it to the playoffs, you still have that PTSD in the back of your head. Like we've seen what happens when everybody just fucking.
What about last year? What about last year? You got to look. I don't care even if they were playing at a good pace. Going into the playoffs right now, I'm going to have major question marks, even if they were sitting there pretty much at the top of the conference.
So how are you going to beat teams in 7 games when you're playing teams like Carolina and Florida?
Exactly. That's where I agree with you the most is the playoff time thing, which is what matters most, Tony, is like they don't have not shown that. Now, I'm a little bit more optimistic because sometimes I feel like that kind of like shit can arise when everything's going well. You get guys pitching in who are not known as tough guys who start assuming the role, meeting the challenge.
One injury,
it can happen.
One injury and the team falls apart. That's one thing that we've seen. And that's a problem that we've had. There's that one, I think Tim was saying this too, actually, on one of the last episodes. One thing and everything unravels. That's
the word is fragile. They are fragile. It doesn't take much to crack that egg. And that's unfortunate. You'd have to be a fool to say otherwise, I think, no offense to anybody, but I still have a little bit of optimism because, we've watched enough over the years where you can see things just gel. Now, they ain't going to become my pick to win the whole cup, But, sometimes when things come together and gel and people are pitching in areas that you never, expected them to, or expected that they would, maybe you want them to, that kind of shit can't happen. So is it a long shot at this point? Yeah, I think so.
Hey.
Definitely, but it's possible.
Look, if we were doing this podcast in 2000 and right around the late February, early March, when the Devils lost 12 of 17 games and Robbie Fatorak got fired 12 or 13 games before the playoffs started, like, I think all of us thought this team's done. They're dead to rights now. It was a completely different team, and there was a lot of character on that
one
team.
thing we would have said is we still have Scott Stevens.
Yeah, we still got Marty, and we still got
Marty
Scott
Brodeur
Stevens.
is still here.
Like, that's it. But they went on to win the cup. So
the key was up in the office, though, because if this team, so take exactly this team, the performance that we've seen and the things that we've seen, I'm going to praise them, even though people say, oh, it's a different sport now. Lou would never sit there and watch this happen.
Oh God,
this
no,
would never happen. I mean, no matter what, for better or for worse, there would be heads rolling. People would be much more nervous walking into that locker room. Coaches would be nervous. It would just be a whole different.
They were nervous when things were going well. I mean, he was quite an authoritarian in that locker room, in that organization.
But again, you can't. Lou was too much. Like, Lou's that way of managing doesn't fly nowadays. I think Nico Hischier would be in a fetal position crying every day if Lou was the GM.
Yeah, I totally understand that, but I also feel like Nico would have either never been captain, or wouldn't have been captain long, and maybe been gone quick, or he would have been maybe even
a different player.
What everybody wants. Yeah, like he might have had that.
So Dan,
Lou might have,
here's something
somebody like that might have.
Maybe.
Him. Lou might have forced him in fire, to like.
We haven't talked to you in a while, Dan.
Yeah.
And I've said this for a while, and me and Chris has talked about this last episode. And even when you were on here, I was saying I like this coach. And I know you're not a fan of him really, but
I have no problem.
Tell me a Torts came onto this team, some shit. But now it would eventually be destroyed. No.
Not a Torts guy.
I'm a Torts. I like Torts. I think that, and the thing is, I would like, if this team was different, maybe Torts wouldn't fit it. But I think the difference is I think this team needs someone like that to be on their
Here's the best I can say about the prospect of Torts coming on this team. If you were going to throw your team in the trash this year, like let's say the losing streak comes back and there we go, and it's like, there ain't fuck all out there, and you have no confidence that Fitzgerald's going to make it, and he's on his way out, and the team's going to basically have to be shattered or something. And you want to punish those guys and get something out of them short term, and maybe make a playoff run, sell a few more tickets.
Great press conferences.
Yeah. Get a little bit of attention for the team as you seek to rebuild. Torts is your guy because he does give you some short term boost. He's like, whew, it goes right in the arm and woo, and it fucking fades off. Usually these days, like the effect is getting less and less. You notice that with every team? It's gone from a couple seasons to maybe one season to not even a season.
Plus the players now are much different than it used to be.
Yeah, exactly. They've changed.
I've heard many great players.
Shit doesn't work.
Great players say about, because I did at first, when I first started watching Torts coach, of course, none of us liked him. I grew to like him because I started watching players who have very successful, hard-nosed players always say he's a great coach. The ones who complained about him were players who would probably these days, the next day, go to a press conference and complain about him, try to get him fired. But the hard-nosed players who won cups, a lot of them, and like were just nasty players who had talent, they appreciated his coaching. So I think it takes a kind of spine, which you are right. These days, it's just a different NHL.
It is.
But
it is.
But I mean,
the game has changed between the rules and then even just the culture of people coming in. Everything has changed.
I think Torts would probably call out Fitz.
Well, that's where I was going with this. When you actually, yes, Torts would get these guys in line. They would absolutely. He would make sure that they were playing their hearts out every single time that they were on the ice. Otherwise, they wouldn't get ice time. The problem is Torts and Fitz would not blend. Like,
I can't imagine Fitz would ever hire him. I mean, Fitz would have to be gone before an ownership bring in somebody else.
Because if Torts just decides, Luke Hughes, you played like shit, you gave up 2 own goals. The other, now I'm benching you, which Torts would do. Now, how's Tom Fitzgerald? Tom Fitzgerald isn't going to allow that. You need a general manager that's going to sit back and let the coach the way that he sees fit. You hired him for a reason. You can't micromanage that shit. So I would love to see Torts for 1 year, because I do think he can get a lot of these bad habits knocked out of these fucking guys. But at the same time,
eventually
it would never work. It would never work.
Teams, maybe even like the Devils, would consider Torts as some kind of assistant coach to have that fucking insane voice demanding more,
like Team
but
USA
not be at the
right
helm. You know what I mean? I don't know if that would work. Who could
be
work
strangling players?
Yeah, and like what coach wants Torts like on his team?
Didn't Ottawa bring like Jacques Martin back like last year for something like that as a consultant or something? Like the old coach who took him.
It's probably never going to work. Yeah.
Who would bring back Torts probably? And bring him in.
And I like Keefe. Like I think Keefe is doing a decent job. I don't have with the way that this team is, like when they play Keefe style, which is defense first. I mean, this is what he preaches, and they played it good the 8-game win streak, the few games now in a row. Like, you can win a lot of games playing that way, but we're not the Anaheim Ducks where you're just looking for modest improvement and maybe we can hopefully make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
It's not what it's about.
I know what Keefe likes. Winning. How much latitude do you think he gets? Because you mentioned Torts would bench Luke Hughes.
Right.
Do you think Keefe wanted to do something different with Hughes that he's not allowed to? Do you think that's a possibility? Because it is a Hughes-based team we have here. I mean, let's face it, he's had some, gotten some passes that other players wouldn't. Do you think Keefe's hands have been tied a little bit, or he knows the drill? He's not going to be able to really lay into Hughes the way he wants to?
Good question.
I do think that there is a little bit, because there is a lot of a country club kind of atmosphere in this dressing room, and that was, I think, from Fitz. I think he's the one that has encouraged that. So I don't know though, because Keith's been here now. This is his second year. He has a good idea of how things go, and I'm sure he has a decent relationship with Fitz. I don't know. Keith seems more of the guy that he's going to keep giving you the chances and hope you work your way out of it before he just goes and Lou or Jacques Lemaire would do and just sit you. So I don't know. So, I mean, all right. Listen, it's getting a little late, and I'm going to wrap this thing up. You guys, anything else? Final thoughts, guys?
Dan, it's good to see you again. I'll see you
in
3 seasons.
To be back with you guys. Awesome.
Is this going to be a regular thing?
We'll see. I'm going to do my best. I definitely enjoyed it, and hopefully more and more. We'll see.
And Tim's cool. Is it your first time with Tim?
No. I did a few.
Oh, Tim's a good guy. Yeah,
it was great seeing him again.
Smart,
definitely. Yeah, man. He's so hockey smart. He's been here a while, and I love what he's doing. Definitely. Yeah. And Tony, you got to bring the fucking news back. If you want more consistency, that is the best way for me to have it.
It was the best part is the intro.
Tony, don't act like you fucking wrote these stories. You don't have to go investigative journalism. All you gotta do is look up some stories. You always
I know. I just
craziest shit.
Death and doom, baby. That's where that's my.
I love your news. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I was thinking. So I mean, what's today? Thursday. So we got the game Saturday. So we should definitely hop on Sunday, in between football games, maybe, and do a show. So. I will reach out to you guys. We'll set something up. And Tony, if you have time, we'll get the news done. I think so. Just a couple of games on, but we'll get the news going, and we'll definitely, start getting some of that stuff back. And it's awesome. Bobby will be back next week.
Oh, great.
He'll probably be back on Monday. Yeah. So we're kind of, then we get a 5-man crew rolling. It'll be a lot of fun. So
all right.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, guys. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, alert bell. Where if you're listening to us in the podcast, download, subscription, positive comment helps the little podcast that could. Yeah, I saw Harbaugh's taking the Giant job. So congratulations, Giant fans. That's huge, man. You got the best guy that was on the market, and you guys locked him up. So good for you. I'm just glad he's not going in the NFC North. So for Tim, Tony, and Dan, I'm Chris. We're the Uncle Puckers. And as soon as I set this outro video, which I thought I already did.
Oh, we got an outro video. I'm excited.
Yeah, we'll see you when we see you. Later, guys.
Peace.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
Is it over?
Hope it got my fuck eye there at the end.